I need more Thunderbolts!
Hey everyone, Josh here from the Uncanny J-Men. Now news has been flying about Disney Plus greenlighting a Thunderbolts show to enter the MCU. And with news like that, I can't help but wonder who's going to be on it, how's it going to go down, how's it all going to come together? I can't just sit here and wait for news. So, as I'm inclined to do, I made a list of all the possible candidates that I think could be in the show, and I've decided on my top 5 dream team to be part of this Thunderbolts team, as well as how I think it could potentially come together. So stay tuned to the end where I'll tell you how I think it could go down. In the meantime, I want to tell you my top 5 dream team for the Thunderbolts lineup. So first up, number 1, Elena Balova. Now in the Black Widow movie, we knew that this was going to be Black Widow's last hurrah, and she was such a great, iconic character that it was tough to see her leaving. The thing is, Elena Balova has done a fantastic job stepping into that role. She is kind of a new Black Widow type carrying forward, but with her own spin on it. Whereas Black Widow was racked with guilt over her past, Elena Balova accepts who she is. She has fun with it. She knows she's an assassin, she's this secretive type, but yet she knows who she is and she accepts it. And I think she could be a fantastic addition to this lineup, a fantastic starting point to build this team. Number 2, I'm going to go with U.S. Agent. Now, when he showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there was a lot of questions at the start as far as what direction he was going to go. Was he going to be just this pure trying to do good character? Would he just have a difficulty with it? We knew he wouldn't last as the Captain America through the whole thing, but we didn't know which direction exactly he would go. Halfway through the season, we got a pretty good idea of which direction he went, and he went the villain side, the hard love side, essentially, with the enemies. He showed no mercy. This kept him from really gaining that label as a hero that he so very much wanted. But instead, that makes him a prime candidate for this Thunderbolts lineup. This group of kind of villains that have to step in and do something heroic. So U.S. Agent wanting to be a hero, but not being a hero, is perfect for this lineup. Number 3, and this one's a little out of left field. This one's one that I feel like most people aren't looking to him. But I'm going to go with Mordo. Mordo from Doctor Strange. Now we know Mordo is still alive in this universe and 838. But the thing is, if there's some situation where they can't have heroes, to me that kind of negates all the wizards. All of them except for one. And having a wizard on your team can be so much fun. Casting spells, doing all these stunts with the magic. There's so much that he could do. And having Mordo there to kind of play his role and help this team advance, this is not part of his goal. He doesn't want to have a whole bunch of wizards out there. That's his whole thing, is he wants to narrow down the wizards. But I think there's ways that we could bring him into the fold here that can help as part of this Thunderbolts team. And I think he could be just so much fun playing that was a hero, knows magic, isn't quite a hero, kind of a dark side to him character. It could be so much fun. So he's my number 3. Number 4, from Loki, I'm going with the variant of Loki, Sylvie. Now there's question marks right now as to where she is or what she's doing at the end of the first season of Loki. The thing is, I expect a second season of Loki to come out prior to this Thunderbolts team, because I know that they're filming Loki now, the second season of Loki. So Sylvie can end up anywhere. And if she is in the world where the Thunderbolts are gathering, she can be a perfect candidate to make it so exciting. Her ability to enchant people, to cast illusions, just her being a Loki is just a fun character. And adding her to the team, there's a lot that can be added there. And number 5, I don't think anyone's going to predict this one, but I'm going to go with Ralph Boner.
Boner.
That is not a joke. That is seriously who I'm going with. From WandaVision, we see him at the end, or sort of halfway through, he kind of comes in, and we know him as Wanda's long-lost brother. We find out later that his actual name is Ralph Boner. The thing is, you'd think he doesn't have power, he's just a normal person. But he does. Being part of that hex, Wanda gave him a power. He stepped in as her long-lost brother, and she knew her long-lost brother. Her brother had powers. He had super speed. And so being part of that role, Wanda gave him super speed. And we know he had that through the latter half of the season, and even into the last episode, we saw that he had that super speed. Well, we know that entering the hex can give you powers. And with the hex gone, we know those powers don't necessarily go away. So it's possible he still has that super speed. And he's certainly not a hero. We don't know what he is. But I think his character could be a lot of fun. Playing that role of having that quick-hitting movement and that quick humor. He just kind of laughs at himself, but also is kind of serious about himself in some ways. He is very much not a hero, very much not ready to be a hero. But he's got powers, and this is a prime situation for him to step in and see what he actually has. So I just think that could be an awesome addition to this team. So that's my number 5. Now, before I get into how I think this could go down, I want to give you a couple of my honorable mentions. Now, you may notice a lot of people have been talking about Abomination. And yeah, I think Abomination could be a fun member of this team. Me personally, I left him off because we've been seeing the Hulk smash things for a while, and I feel like Abomination, that's kind of the same role. So I think it'd be fun to kind of have something a little different with this team and how they have to operate. He'd be awesome. I'd love having him on the team, but we've seen him in a little bit in Shang-Chi recently. We know he's coming back in She-Hulk. So we know that he's going to be around anyway. If he's in this, I'll be thrilled. It would be so much fun, but he was an honorable mention for me. Taskmaster is another one. She was on my list, but I ended up moving her off of it at the last moment. The thing about Taskmaster, I feel like they didn't do much in the movie in Black Widow to kind of show her personality. So that gives them the freedom to go whatever direction they want with her personality. To kind of make her, she could be a funny character. She could add some humor to it. We don't know what she is or who she is, and we can explore that. But her power set is so much fun. Being able to mimic essentially anything she sees, that's a great ability. And it's so much fun to be able to watch that type of thing unfold. So she could be fun. I ended up taking her off the list because I got to keep the Elena Balova on, and I feel like having two of those agent-type characters, they're kind of similar in some ways, so I ended up removing Taskmaster. Zemo is another one that I thought could be a lot of fun. He doesn't really have powers, but he can be kind of a fun background character, pulling some strings, knowing some things. He can be enjoyable too. Ghost. I loved the character of Ghost, I think more than most. I think she was just kind of a side character that most people have forgotten about, so I could see the excitement being a little less on her at this point, but she'd be fun as well. And then White Vision, I left him off because I think he might be a little overpowered. Being a Vision character in this whole situation, there's just so much he can do. He can fly, he can shoot lasers, he can phase through things. It's just a lot of power for a show that a lot of these characters aren't going to be quite as powered. So that's why I left him off. But those are some of my honorable mentions. Now on to how I think it could potentially go down. So at the end of Multiverse of Madness, Wanda was left in a situation that, to try and limit spoilers since it's still fairly recent, I'll say she's in a situation where she may not be able to maintain some of her past spells. The one in particular I'm thinking of is trapping Agatha Harkness as the fun neighbor, Agnes, in Westview. Well, if that spell is broken and Agatha is now released, you could bet she's looking to gain back some of that power that she so nearly had in WandaVision. I'm thinking she can go on a trek to try and find, she lost the Darkhold. She could go looking for it. She can try and find the Darkhold, or she can try and find that source. If she makes it to Mount Wundagore and finds the state it's in, she could go digging around and possibly come upon some long-lost spell in the ruins there. And if she does, it could end up being exactly what she needs to gain the control she wants. Not by giving her more power, but by taking power away from those who have it. I think that spell could allow her to cast something that harkens back to an iconic line in the comics that people have been wanting for so long, but with a slight twist. I think Agatha could end up casting a spell that ends with the words, "No more heroes." Now, a lot of people have wanted that line from Wanda, "No more mutants," because in the comics it is such an iconic line. The thing is, we haven't really had the mutants, so that line is not going to have the power in the MCU. But if Agatha can get hold of that spell and she casts "No more heroes," then anyone with a heroic role suddenly is unable to perform their duties. But if you're not a hero, your powers may remain. And that could be why a team needs to form. This Thunderbolts lineup needs to come together of people who aren't heroes, but are willing to be for the right cause. They could come together to fight against Agatha and whatever she brings forth to support her attempted rise to power. And the Thunderbolts can come together as new heroes, a group of people who are willing to do what they need to do to stop a bigger threat. So what do you think? Are there any non-heroes that I overlooked that you think would be fantastic members of the Thunderbolts lineup? Please let me know in the comments down below. And let me know, do you think it's possible Agatha could come back as the big bad in this, with a no more heroes type of storyline? Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to our channel to watch more, and thanks for watching.